Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 27th of June. I'm going to give you the key strands to look out for this week. Please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces, which you can watch in terms of your ascendant or your sun or both. Now this week, of course, does see the new moon in the sign of Cancer. Now, depending on where you are in the world, it's on the 28th or 29th. In terms of Universal Central Time, it's the 29th. And this squares with the buoyant energy of Jupiter. Now, both are in cardinal signs. Cancer, the second of the cardinal quadrants, is very much about protection, nurture, the environment, our home, our family, our feelings. So that upbeat energy, that levitating energy of Jupiter is asking us to find ways, enterprising ways, because I think Jupiter is pushing for that, to add that sense of security at the root of our existences. Now Neptune, the planet of dreams, does begin a retrograde on Tuesday, which will last through to the 4th of December. Neptune's great if we want to embrace a more spiritual dimension, whether it's a more traditional spirituality or something that's more personal and much more to do with our own particular way of experiencing faith. But the retrograde could see us thinking very deeply about these issues over this period of time. But later this week, Neptune gets into a rather destructive right angle with Mercury. Mercury in the sign of Gemini, of course, is in its home sign, and it's very much about clarity and quick wits. So an exchange towards the end of this week may require a little more care, particularly if you're talking about a contract, but some gossip could be doing the rounds, so vital to try to keep things real. But there are two glorious influences this week. Mars forges a very stable angle to Saturn, and also there's a beautiful link between Jupiter and Venus. Now that can actually be very lucky, and if you're wanting to look to add to your family, I understand that this particular aspect can be very helpful, but it's also one where we can socialise and be a bit more free-spirited and live in the moment. Now the more breaking and restrictive energies of Saturn are counterbalanced by the more progressive energies of Mars, which is very much about pushing forwards. So Saturn can act as a bit of an anchor for the more rampant and more impulsive energies of Mars, so that's a very nice balancing influence too. In fact, towards the end of this week, despite the fact that Mercury gets blighted by Neptune, it actually also itself forges a stable link to Saturn. So I think as the week goes on, scrutinising the details around anything is going to be important. And as I say, particularly if you're discussing a contract, a job offer, or you're sending some communication that's important, make sure that you treble check everything before you do press that send button. Now, if you'd like to get a more detailed understanding of the new moon, please see beneath this video and you can watch my new moon special video. But if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. I'm nearly there at the 100,000 subs mark, and if you've already subscribed, I'm very grateful. And if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and embrace the wonder of more serious astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place, I can give you a roadmap that can guide you for the rest of your life, as well as a 12-month personal forecast. These are completely individual to you, and there's 30% off if you see the link beneath this video with my special offer. So Aquarius, your week commencing the 27th of June forecast sees a new moon in the 6th house. The 6th house is all about the structure of situations, ensuring that things run efficiently, a feeling that you're on top of your daily routines, that you're feeling fit and well. And so the questions that this new moon asks of you for the next month is, can you make some improvements? Even if you're someone who's very tidy and organised, maybe the improvements can come around a greater understanding of nutrition or exercise. Or are there some ways that you can create more time and space for yourself by being not necessarily more efficient, but using some labour saving devices or perhaps some new and fresh approaches? Now, Jupiter is in a right angle with this particular new moon, and that can give you a lot of enthusiasm if you are wanting to pitch for a new job, perhaps in a role that gives you more personal satisfaction. Someone you encounter can find you a very uplifting person to deal with. Also, Jupiter is forging a very fortunate link to Venus. And for you, if you're someone who's interested in getting to know somebody new, a conversation you have, a text message exchange, perhaps some internet dating, could turn out to be very lucky indeed. However, Neptune does go into a retrograde in your second house. Some confusion around a financial matter is possible, and I wouldn't be too quick to be overly free and easy with your resources towards the end of this week, as Mercury forges a square with Neptune. However, Saturn, your traditional ruler, is actually in a very solid alliance with Mars and also with Mercury later this week. And I think despite the fact that Saturn is going retrograde, and if it's pressing down on your Sun at this particular time, it can feel that things are a little bit more limited. But the third house, where Mars is an opportunity to be a bit more physically active. But I think Saturn's saying don't overdo it, make sure it works for you. And the new moon is saying, as long as you can find ways to bring a bit more virtue or efficiency into your world or personal satisfaction, this can turn out to be a very constructive week indeed.